Today's episode, we are going to be taking this Matchbox K6 cement truck and converting it into a rollback. The original one had a barrel here that turned as you ran it across the ground if the leather was pushed in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece off with the jeweler's saw and see what it looks like. Alright, it's all cut off. And that looks a lot better. Let's see what it'll look like as a rollback. Alright, so on this K6, I ordered a set of wheels for it, but they were not anywhere close to the set of scale that I wanted. They were way too small. So I picked up a couple of these Miatsu transporters. That wheel is super close to the original size. So we are going to disassemble this, pull the wheels out from it, and use them for the K6. Alright, so I got the axles off of the rollback, and I got 3 of the 4 wheel wells trimmed out. Now when I was taking them apart, that axle fought me the entire way. I ended up bending it. So my saving grace was a pair of vice grips. I crimped them onto the end after I cut it in half and pulled to get that barb out. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. That little barb that's in them axles did not want to come out for anything. So after I did that, I had to find axle replacements. I couldn't find anything at all. Finally, I got looking around at the original wheels. Grabbed my calipers, and sure enough, these axles off the original Matchbox are the exact same diameter as what was on that rollback. So we were saved in that aspect. Like, it is absolutely perfect. A little dab of super glue in there and we will be good to go. So that means that on the front side, I will be able to save my suspension because it's the same axle. On the rear, that one tab was broke, so that rear piece was not going to work, and it was also too wide because we had to trim all this out in order to get these big dually wheels to fit in here. So I'm going to make a piece to replace it, but I took a piece of styrene, drilled a hole through the center of it, and this is going to be my axle tube. Now, with that being said, I will add a small piece down here that goes between the two of styrene that will act as my spring. So, alright, so for the bed on this, I was thinking about using the original one off that flatbed that I bought, but it's not quite wide enough to cover up this original decking or running boards. I kind of like the width of that, so I took some styrene and made me up a box, but it's kind of flimsy. Wasn't really digging it, so I had some wood flooring that I bought years ago when I was doing 1/24th scale stuff. I used it a lot in pickup beds, and it worked out great. That was for doll houses. I think I picked it up at local hobby shop, like $10 for a 2-foot by 1.5 foot section of it. We're going to use an actual wood floor on this K6. I think it'll look better altogether. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is work on this cab. Those holes are going to be filled in. The line where the old light used to go, or whatever it was, that needs to come off. Smooth it all out. I'll probably end up cutting a back window out of this, and we'll go from there. Still got to figure out what I'm going to do for a grill. So like I showed you before, this thing didn't have a grill when I started with it. Alright, so got the roof filed down. Now it's time to cut this piece off the back. We'll break out the old jeweler saw and get that done. This thing's going to need an interior. And I have this K18. And that seat up in the front of this horse trailer has never made any sense to me. I think we're going to pull it out and see how it fits with the K6. So, here's our seat out of the horse trailer. It's a little bit wide. Height-wise is like perfect. Cabin space, depth, everything else is perfect. But like I said, it's just a little wide. So I think if we cut probably that first rib off on both sides, we'll be able to get this to slide up inside. And I have an interior in the K6 that never had it before. Alright, well, just as planned, the K6 now has a seat. Alright, so on this K6, I want this wood bed to appear as though it's actually being used, or been used. So we're going to add some oil stains and stuff to it. The best thing I've found is actually used motor oil. I do my own oil changes. I use motor oil every now and again. And you want something to appear authentic, you got to use authentic materials. So we'll give it a quick wash down, and then I'll leave a couple spots in it where it's darker, you know, looks like something's soaked up there. Now, right away, you can see the color difference. And that was, you know, quick wipe down. And that really looks more like a wood bed. And to fill in the section here, it's all open. I took and cut a piece of styrene, V'd out the center of it with a knife, and then bent it to the same profile as the chassis. So that'll all line up well. I'm gonna take and cut a groove down this so that the rollback bed can actually slide, because I want it to slide out and then tilt down, so it will come back and then actually touch the ground when we're done. I'm gonna put a rail on it. I have the rectangular styrene stock. I will cut this down the center and then turn it into basically an I-beam, and that I-beam will ride inside the channel that I'm going to cut. So the bed will stay in location. When it's able to pop out of the back of the hole, it will be at the point to where it can drop down. Alright, so we got the bed on the K6. I made the pieces for it to slide. Slides real nice. Now, there you can see where I took that square tubing, turned it into a T, and glued it to the bottom. And then this piece, I'm going to put a pin in it so that when it's together, it cannot come out. So it'll come back and then be able to tilt, but not come out. So with that, the next problem is I have to channel this entire section out, including down there where the original shaft came for the gears to spin the barrel. In doing that, I am taking all of the structural integrity out of this casting. I already took out a lot when I cut out the wheel tiller for the fender wells, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll use the 10-minute epoxy and fill it in, get it where we need it to where it's strong again, and then we will cut the other sections out. Here, we'll get this in line. I'm going to fill this entire area. Like I said, we're cutting all the structure and take it out of the back. So if I can stiffen this back up, it'll help out a lot. Alright, so I got a couple holes to tap on the bottom of this K6. I'm going to show you how I do it. Don't cringe. Alright, now I know I told you guys that we had to do something about that grill. And the time has come. So, I have some screen. I'm going to cut a small section of this out. The plan is to stick it inside the grill area and flip it around backwards. And then I will kind of take the back side of my file and see what we can do about smoothing it out. So, got that in there, everything looks good. Now it's time to take it out, flip it around, and see how it looks in there. There we go. We have a nice mesh grill on the front of this GMC Brigadier. Obviously there's no headlights, but I'm probably gonna do something on the back side to simulate them. I'm not sure whether it'll show through or not, but that's where we're at. Alright, so the body mods are done on this. It's time to get in the stripper and see what we're going to end up doing about a paint job. Alright, so here we are after paint. Got a nice green, pretty close to factory GM color. Let's see. Bed functions, locks in place. Now, this green is not the original color that I was planning on doing. So with it, I had to take these sideboards off because I didn't like them. Didn't matter what color I painted them, they didn't look right. It looked a lot better with the wood floor, just open. Now, this blue is what we were supposed to have. It is metal cast from Duplicolor over white. It looked fantastic, but we had primer issues. It had spits. I tried sanding it at 1500 grit. The primer flaked off. I didn't have anything else, so I used my gray primer and put fluorescent green over top of it. Now, it was too bright, didn't look right with the truck. So then I came back and hit the fluorescent green with the metal cast blue from Duplicolor, and this is what you get. I like the truck. I really like the color of it. And my kids are going to go play with it and probably make it look worse than it did before I started. So, have fun, guys. And thanks for watching. And let me know what you guys want to see on the next show. I'm open to suggestions. There's some stuff that I haven't tried that I'd like to do, but I want to know what you guys want to see.